Welcome to my Days of Our Lives official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Holly and Tate make hop plans with others. Tate and his friend Aaron tossed a football in the domain. Aaron encouraged Tate to try out for the football platoon, since Tate demanded adulterous conditioning for education. Aaron complained about pupil debt and listed off all the conditioning he would join, including hop planning. Tate asked about Aaron's date. Aaron wanted to invite Sophia, but he did not suppose she knew he was. Tate cracked that Aaron's dilemma was like the plot of an 80s teen movie. Aaron prodded a reticent Tate to go to hop, since Aaron had put so important trouble into the planning. Aaron also wanted Tate to bestow for a blood drive so that Tate could meet a girl. Aaron realized Tate was still hung up on Holly and could not understand why Tate would give her the time of day after what Holly had done. Tate claimed he'd forgiven Holly because he was not a Hall, and Aaron snarked that should be Tate's yearbook superlative. Aaron and Tate started throwing the ball again, and Aaron remarked under his breath that Tate demanded a lot of work. Holly and Sophia got caught up on practice at the Brady pub. Both lamented how late they were on their assignments, and Sophia suggested they talk about commodity fun like hop. Holly asked if Sophia had a date yet. Sophia said she had her eye on Tate. Holly acted surprised, and Sophia listed off that Tate was cute, briskly, and smart. Holly reminded Sophia that like 5 guys had formerly asked Sophia to hop, and Sophia corrected, more like 10. Sophia suffed and said she was not really feeling any of them, including the bone, who had left flowers each over her frontal veranda. Sophia said up Tate charming, and Holly agreed. Sophia wondered why Holly did not want to attend hop if her mama would let her. Sophia blandished Holly to go with her to an antique dress shop so they could take an internal break and catwalk around the store like Kendall and Gigi. Holly acceded, and they left. Latterly, they were at the domain with Tate and Aaron. Tate apologized profusely as Sophia rubbed her face. Tate had accidentally hit Sophia in the face with the football. She cried that Tate had been detracted because he'd been looking at Holly. Tate brought Sophia ice from the cantina and apologized again. She snapped, "You said that formerly," and groaned about her shiner and her nose, which she claimed was presumably broken. No bone. Would want to take a girl with a black eye to hop, Sophia claimed. Tate asked what he could do, and Sophia suggested he make it up to her by taking her to hop. Holly stepped in and talked up Sophia, so Tate accepted Sophia's assignation. Holly also asked Aaron to go with her and suggested the 4 of them have a double date. Aaron stuttered out a yes. Sophia excitedly placarded it would be the stylish night ever as Tate and Holly changed a look. Sloane got snappy with Eric before he left for work. She insinuated that Nicole would be happy to see Eric, and Sloane ignored him when he told her farewell and said he loved her. After he left, Sloane called Melinda and stated forcefully that she demanded to talk. When Melinda arrived, she murmured over the baby before Sloane hit her with the news that Leo had told E.J. about the baby switch. Melinda snappily downed a drink and grew more terrified as Sloane brought her up to speed 1.J's visit. Sloane assured Melinda she'd not say anything about Melinda's involvement, and Sloane was feeling further secure because E.J. had backed off when he'd said out he was not Jude's father. Both Melinda and Sloane took a big quaff of wine at the study of what J. would do next. Melinda bothered about captivity time, but Sloane believed she had successfully converted E.J. to keep quiet. Melinda hoped Sloane had better success at reining in E.J. than Sloane had with Leo. Sloane was tired of having to put out fires and wondered if all her trouble had been worth it, since Eric was still transported by Nicole, the bone. That got down. At the demerriments, E.J. lashed out at Dr. Rolf over the phone. He demanded Rolf get him the DNA results as soon as possible. Nicole walked in as E.J. hung up, and she asked if everything was okay. She allowed. She would heard him talking about DNA results, Butte.J. Claimed it was about a case. J. Was happier to report the implicit fallout from the paper's composition about Paulina. Nicole scolded him as she advised him not to essay to add mayor to his numerous job titles. Joked that if the people wanted him, he could not deny them. Johnny approached, carrying a mug of tea. Johnny reported that the tea was for Chanel, as she had been feeling sick. Johnny went back to the room, and Nicole left for work. Latterly, ASE.J. ended a business call. Johnny returned and said he demanded to ask his pater for a favor. Was glad to do anything for his son. Johnny told E.J. about Chanel's gestation, and E.J. was enraptured. When he happily made a comment about being a forefather, however, Johnny hedged with, conceivably. Noting Johnny's wording, E.J. asked what was wrong. E.J. came irate at Paulina after Johnny told him about the implicit radiation complications. Johnny tried to defend Paulina, which urged E.J. to call Johnny a Paulina Price apologist. E.J. backed down and heated as Johnny opened up about his worries and fears for the baby. Johnny was taken suddenly. J. inferred Chanel shouldn't go through with the gestation. Johnny explained that Chanel and he'd bandied their options but had not made a decision yet. Johnny believed Chanel was leaning toward keeping the baby, and he pledged to support her in that decision. Johnny wanted E.J. to help him get access to the stylish croakers, like E.J. had done with Holly. E.J. assured Johnny that Chanel would have world-class care. He continued to press Johnny on moving forward with the gestation, still, claiming Johnny and Chanel were youthful and could have healthy babies in the future. E.J. believed the gestation was too important of a threat. Johnny was offended at the notion of telling Chanel what to do with her own body. Reminded Johnny that the child would be a demare first and foremost, which further infuriated Johnny. Johnny allowed. E.J. was insinuating the baby would not be good enough if it didn't have superior genetics. E.J. claimed that wasn't what he meant and prompted his son to suppose long and hard about the decision. Johnny calmed down and agreed. Nicole set up Eric packing his photography outfit in Horton Town Square. Eric streamlined Nicole on talking with Sloane, and he expressed sanguinity that they'd made an advance. He'd realized he'd been treating Sloane the same way he'd treated Nicole, and he rued his conduct in both connections. He apologized to Nicole for the way he'd acted in the history, but she assured him that their miscalculations had given them perspective to make their current connections better and stronger. She told Eric she was pulling for Sloane and him. Eric wanted the stylish for Nicole, too, and both were encouraged that they could move forward, since they had been honest with Sloane and E.J. about working together. They beamed at the notion of being associates. Eric wondered what Nicole had in her shopping bags, and she admitted she would bought cleaner and other inventories to give the unhoused people she'd be canvassing. She made a comment about her own time on the thoroughfares, which caught Eric off guard. Nicole commended Eric about having lived out of her auto when she had been youngish. She attributed her adaptability to her rigors, and she wanted to pay it forward as a voice for people like her. Eric marveled at Nicole's strength. He added that she still managed to surprise him, and they participated a warm smile. In his room, Harris worked with frustration on cracking a law in Clyde's book. When Ava arrived from Downward in the cantina, Harris streamlined her about the lack of progress. He hoped for better results because he'd transferred the translated train to an old Navy friend. Harris vented to Ava about being unfit to figure out the law and pledged he wouldn't rest until Clyde was back in captivity. Ava entered a call and answered with alarm. The call was from Clyde, who wanted an update from Ava about the book. Ava prevaricated that she had not set up it yet. She wanted Clyde to tell her what came next.